Hello, everyone. Well, happy winter solstice. The sun just went into Capricorn on the 21st, so a couple days ago, if you're watching this on the new moon. And we are now the light is returning. The days are starting to get longer already. And we're in the winter season. Capricorn is an earth sign, and earth is associated with the winter season in a lot of different traditions around the world. It's this time of darkness, of going in, of wisdom, and really going within. And that's kind of what I've got for us for Capricorn season yoga is our mantra is I fully know my heart. So I am fully present and I fully know my heart. So just really practicing to be present with ourselves, our mind, our bodies, and our spirits during yoga this month. And that's really what yoga is all about: is being present, being in union with all the parts of self and with the present moment. So Capricorn rules the knees mostly. That's like the main Capricorn rulership in the body. As we go through the zodiac, we're moving down the body. So we're already at the knees. And Capricorn is the sea goat. So it's kind of like these two worlds. It has the fish's tail, but it's the goat and it's the mountain goat. So it's like climbing the mountain, and you can think of it like the knees are help us like be able to move. So we're like bending our knees and climbing up the mountain. And also, Capricorn is correspondent to the gallbladder. That's a main organ of digestion, and it's really important for those of you who have had any sort of gallbladder insufficiency or stones or anything. You realize, you know how important it is to the function of our bodies. So and also, so Capricorn's ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is cold and dry. And depending on where you are in the world or in the northern hemisphere, because it's winter here right now, it's summer in the southern hemisphere. So in the northern hemisphere, there's a lot of places that are cold and dry in the winter. I'm on the west coast, so it's a little bit wet and cold here, but it's still cold. And so like cold is like depressing of function, just if you think about it in like the function of our organs. And so for yoga this month, we're warming up. We're going to get moving, and that's something that's like really good for the gallbladder to just make sure it's hot enough and that it's moving and that there's not like sludge kind of like stuck in there. And yeah, and we can't really moisten in yoga, but in your life you can think about doing moistening things like drinking enough water and drinking warm water. If you want to get into herbs, you can like add some marshmallow root, or cinnamon is really great because cinnamon is warming and moistening. So, anyways, I'm getting into more than just yoga right now, but our mantra for today is I am fully present with myself and I know my heart. So just come to a comfortable seated position. If you have a blanket or a pillow, feel encouraged to sit on your blanket or your pillow so that you can have a supported body and a relaxed mind. And let's just drop in with our breath. And this is how we really get to know ourselves, with being present, observing the breath, observing how the breath feels when it goes into the nostrils, observing how the breath moves through the body. observing how the breath feels when it's exiting the body. And when you are ready, with an inhale, inhale the arms up outside of you and open the eyes. Exhale, arms coming down. Inhaling, arms up, moving with the breath. And exhale down. One more time, inhaling up. And this time, exhale down to heart center. And we're gonna start standing today. So we're doing our mini practice and we're gonna get moving, warm up. Take my socks off. So let's start at the front of the mat. We'll start with sun salutation A. So hands at heart center, feet are beneath hips, feeling all four corners of the feet on the earth. So Capricorn's an earth sign. We're getting really stable, really connected to the earth, to the minerals. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back for plank pose. Hands beneath shoulders. Exhale, chaturanga, elbows stay in at the sides. Coming all the way down. Tops of the feet on the earth. Inhale, coming up for a small cobra. And exhale, coming down. Inhale through plank or hands and knees into plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here. On your next exhale, walk the feet to meet the hands. Inhaling, half lift, shoulder blades are down the back, the spine is extended. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, pushing through the feet, arms come wide, come all the way to standing. Hands high, exhale, hands through heart center. So we'll do two more sun salutations. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, plank. And you're welcome to come down to hands and knees here too if that is more supportive for you. Exhale, chaturanga, coming all the way down. Tops of the feet on the earth. Inhale, cobra. So we're being really careful to not jut our chin out here, but imagining our spine coming up all the way through the top of our head. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here.
Your next exhale, walk the feet to meet the hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms come wide, coming up to standing. And exhale, hands at heart center. One more sun salutation. Inhaling, arms lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, plank. So here you can come all the way down and come up through cobra if you want, or you can come to upward facing dog. So I'll show upward facing dog. Exhale, chaturanga. Flip the toes. Inhale, coming up. So the only thing on the earth is the tops of the feet and the hands. So if you're in cobra, exhale, come down, and then come up through plank. And upward facing dog will just flip the toes, lift the hips back, downward dog. On your next exhale, walk feet to meet the hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms come wide. Exhale, hands at heart center. So let's open up for triangle pose. So we've got a little bit of heat going. We saluted the sun. Yay, the light's coming back. Thank you, light. Thank you, fire. And now for triangle, we're going to get into the gallbladder, into this Manipura chakra, and continue heating ourselves up. The front foot, the heel of the front foot is like in between the back foot. And you're about at your 3/4 stance, not your longest stance. Inhaling, arms come wide. As you exhale, come forward over your front foot, that's facing forward. And then exhale, hinge at the hips. Front of the hand, or back of the hand can come to your ankle, shin, or foot. Top hand comes up. If you want to grab your ankle or your shin, you can, but I like to challenge myself and use the back of my hand. Breathing. And inhaling, coming up. Exhale, arms can come down. And then switch the feet. Inhale, arms come wide. Exhale, coming out over the front foot and fold. Gaze comes up towards the ceiling if possible for you. And then our front leg is straight, but just always be mindful of not hyperextending and having a micro bend in your knee. And inhaling to come up. Exhale, arms come down. We'll switch the feet again. Over the right leg. I'm doing right leg. Whichever leg you did first is fine. Inhale, arms come wide. And exhale, exhaling, coming out and over for triangle. So we're going to come into half moon. So bend the front knee so that you can reach the floor with your hand. You can bring your top hand to your hip. And you might need to go grab a block or a book or something that to like raise the floor for your hand, but it's up to you. And then we're gonna come lift the back foot off, balance on the front foot, making sure that you don't shift your foot. So your toes are straight, you're feeling your weight in all four corners of your foot again. So once you have your balance here, begin to open up your hip, reaching out through the top heel. That's going to help with your balance. And then if you can lift the arm, Ardha Chandrasana. So your gaze is really important for balance too. So find a gaze point. If you can, that gaze point's on the ceiling. But wherever you're at right now. And if you want to go over to a wall and try this on a wall, that could be really helpful also. Breathing. And coming down, bringing top arm to the floor, coming down to forward fold. Inhaling, coming up to standing. Then exhale, hands to heart center. So opening up again for our triangle stance, and then we'll switch our feet. So we're going out the second side. Inhaling, arms come up. Exhale, reach over with your arm, with your torso, and then coming down, folding at the hips. Triangle pose. And then coming into Ardha Chandrasana, so top hand comes to hip, bottom hand comes to floor. Remembering to keep your foot in the place where it's at. And if it shifts, just shift it back. Lifting back leg off the floor. And then opening hips. Lifting top arm up. And then finding your gaze. Like I said, if you can do it on the ceiling, that is great. Reaching out the back heel. Breathing. Reaching up the top arm. And when you're ready, coming down to forward fold. In forward fold, feel free to have straight legs or bend your knees as much as you need to in order to take any strain off of your low back. Your back is more important. The health of your back in yoga and movement is more important than having stretched hamstrings. So if it's accessible for you, turn your toes out slightly. And then we're going to come into a squat, garland pose. So your knees are facing in the same direction as your toes. I'll turn so you guys can see me. Your knees are facing same direction as your toes. Hands are in prayer pose. Spine is extended. Just taking a moment to be present with ourselves. And if this pose is inaccessible for you right now, you could just come to seated. We're making our way down to the floor. And when you're ready, make your way down to seated. And we'll come up for Ardha Navasana. So Navasana, boat pose. We're lifting our legs. So we're going to lift our legs a little bit less here. And then we're kind of like, we're not as high. In regular boat pose, we would be high. And in this half, we're having our legs a little lower. And we're kind of pulling out like the back, like the base of the sternum, pulling out the back. So this is more targeting the gallbladder and the spleen and the liver. So breathing here. And then coming to seated. So you can find your blanket or your pillow again and come to seated on your blanket or pillow. I'm going to put my socks back on. If anyone else needs to do that too. Making sure that we're staying warm during the cold winter. I know it's cold for a lot of people in the country right now, like really cold. So we're keeping ourselves warm. We're keeping our function of our bodies moving. And we're going to come into Janu Shirsasana, so head to knee pose. So bringing the knees in. Let's fold in left foot first. So your foot comes into like your groin area. And then, so our right leg is extended. So we'll frame our right leg with our hands. And we're getting a little bit of a twist here. So we're kind of twisting to the side. Just so that our like upper torso is facing over our extended leg. Extend spine tall. And then exhale, begin to fold. Shoulder blades are down the back. Extend spine straight for at first. And then coming to fold, working head towards knee. So you can bring your hands onto your foot or your ankle or your shin. And when you're ready, inhaling to come up. And then coming over to the opposite side. Lengthen spine, frame the extended leg. And on your exhale, come towards a fold. So yeah, extend spine straight back at first. And then exhale, bringing your hands to your shin or your foot, your ankle, and head towards knee. So this is a beautiful pose illustrating like going inwards. We're bringing our head towards our knee. We're like kind of bringing like our mind like back to the earth, and we're self-reflecting, and we're knowing ourselves, which is really important for the Capricorn archetype, and also just important for life in general. And when you're ready, inhaling to come up. Let's bring legs out in front of us for one last pose. Inhale, lengthen spine, and then exhale, forward fold, feeling free to round the spine. Inhaling to come up, and then making your way down to Shavasana, to our final resting posture. So coming down to laying down, making yourself comfortable, maybe even want to put a blanket underneath you so that you're warm, so that the cold floor isn't chilling you, or you want to put a blanket over you, put your socks on. And just taking a few moments here to let the body rest and rejuvenate. Letting the feet be wider than the hips, the feet fall out to the sides. Letting the hips, each hip bone sink deeply into the earth. Letting the heart sink into the earth, the shoulders relax. The jaw is slightly open, no tension there. Or doing our best to relax any tension there, rather. The eyes are just kind of floating in their sockets, as well as the third eye. I'm going to play the earth chime for Shavasana today.
When you're ready, bringing life back into the body, taking a big inhale, stretching the arms above your head. And turning to one side in the fetal position. Coming up to seated. Hands coming to heart center. Honoring self for showing up for practice today and honoring those parts of self that we were present with during practice. How beautiful that we're getting to know ourselves more deeply. And may we all be warm this Capricorn season and more on the moist side than the dry side. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. If you made it through the whole practice, I would really appreciate it and love if you liked it here on YouTube and maybe shared it with somebody that you think might enjoy it also. If you like the mini practice, I also do a full 60 to 75 minute each changing of the zodiac on the new moon, and it's on Patreon. It's $4 a month, and the link is in my YouTube bio. So, yeah, if you're interested in any of that, I would love to practice more yoga with you and would love to hear any comments, questions, or any feedback.